Well, hello friends. My name is Noah Walker. I'm a guitar player and teacher from Vancouver, Canada. And wow, I had a lot of extra time to practice this last year. And while I was practicing, I made a discovery on the guitar that greatly improved my picking technique. And I wanted to share it with you all. It's very easy. I think anyone could do it. And it's a system that, for lack of a better name, I'm going to call SLAP. That stands for Strategic Legato Alternate Picking. SLAP. My whole life, I've always used alternate picking, you know, down on the downbeat, up on the upbeat. That's how I was taught, and it always made sense to me. But after many years of practicing, I realized that there's a speed limit to alternate picking. You can play fast alternate picking, but you can't really play ridiculously fast that way. So I looked into it, and I learned that most people use economy picking to break through to faster speeds. However, if you're like me and you've been alternate picking your whole life, economy picking can feel terribly awkward. So I developed this SLAP idea as an alternative to economy picking. Now it's really easy. There's only 2 rules to SLAP. Rule number 1, you just pick down on the beat and up off the beat. Simple. And rule number 2, though, is if a string ends in a downstroke, then you apply a strategic legato, aka a hammer-on or a pull-off, to assist your string change. And that's really all there is to it. It's simple. Let's check it out. So, while I was practicing this year, I spent some time on this amazing website made by this guy named Troy Grady. It's called Cracking the Code. And there I learned that the reason that alternate picking doesn't work at high speeds is because when you finish a string on a downstroke like this, down, up, down, to get to an upstroke on the next string, your pick has to travel up and over the next string, then back down, and then up again to play the next string as an upstroke. Now that was 2 pick strokes motions, but you only get 1 note sounding. And that is the precise problem, the precise picking problem, if you will, that slows you down. And this problem must be overcome if you want to break through to higher speeds. So now, as I said before, most people would economy pick that as the solution, right? Which is down, up, down, etc. But as I said before, I just can't seem to do this very well. It feels terrible. It sounds super janky, and just doesn't totally work for me. So I wondered, is there another solution to this problem that we've overlooked? And that's when I came up with this idea of strategic legato alternate picking. So I started out with a 1-octave major scale. And if I was to alternate pick that, that would go like this. Down, up, 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 down. Now if you analyze that, there are 2 instances where a string ends in a downstroke. Watch. Down, up, right there on the G note. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, right there on the E note, up, down. So what I want to try to do now is apply a strategic legato like this. Down, up, strategic legato. I think I'm just going to call it a slap for the sake of ease. So that would be like this. Down, up, slap, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, slap, up, down. So let's see how that works. Down, up, down. Eureka! That feels super easy, it feels very smooth, and I feel like I don't have anything holding me back. But more importantly, it doesn't really sound like legato playing. It doesn't sound like or whatever. So what happens if I expand this to the whole position? Well, that would be this. Down, up, slap, up, down, slap, up, down, slap, up, down, slap, up, down, slap, up, down. That's the whole position with the slap applied. I find that I don't really notice the legatos after a certain speed because the majority of the notes are picked. If you count up all the notes in one position, there are 31 notes played, 26 notes are picked, and only 5 of them are legatos. Yeah, they are there, but I don't think it sounds like legato playing. Down, up, slap, up, down, up. Now keep in mind, the only other alternative is to economy pick, or to do some kind of voodoo they call two-way pick slanting, or to just simply not play a major scale at all. And when you think about it, economy picking has sweeps in it, which is kind of like legatos anyways. This system also works well for 3 notes per string scales. And check it out. You end up going down, up, slap, up, and then the pattern repeats every 2 strings. Down, up, slap, up, down, up, slap, up, down, up. So check it out. Easy. I've showed this technique to a few friends and students now, and the most common mistake that they make when they're first trying it out is that they lose their right hand bounce when they do this legato. So remember, when you're doing it, you want to go down, up, and when you do that legato, your pick still has to go down, and that way it sails past the next string and easily goes up, and on the way back, it's a pull-off, but you still want to do a little baby downstroke, even though you're not picking anything, but that keeps your down and up motion the same. And that's crucial to maintaining the illusion of alternate picking. All right, now I bet you're saying to yourself, oh, alert the media, a guitar teacher discovered a hammer-on. No, I mean obviously people have been using legato to smooth out their lines forever. But what's news to me is the idea that you can distill it to the least possible amount of legatos so that you barely even notice they're there at all. Here are what I consider to be some of the advantages of the slap technique. Number 1, your speed bumps are removed. So, since your speed bumps are removed, the idea is, in theory, as fast as you can pick this one note, that's your speed limit. Advantage number 2, you can play even or odd numbers of notes per string at will. Now, many of the picking methods that I learned on Cracking the Code rely on playing only even numbers of notes per string, and that way your pick always ends with an upstroke no matter what. So that would be stuff like this where you go Number 3, you can keep the same pick angle for every pick stroke. Using the slap technique, every pick stroke can be at the same angle, which means you can focus all of your energy into perfecting just this one kind of pick stroke. And the kind of pick stroke that works the best for slap would be having your pick angled slightly towards the floor. If this is your pick at a 90-degree angle to the string, you want to slant the wide part of your pick downwards a little bit towards the floor, and that allows you. Number 4, this technique becomes second nature very quickly. I found that once you work through the major scale in 5 positions, you might just find that you can just play any scale this way, and your fingers will just somehow know what to do. they will add a strategic legato wherever it is needed. Because once you've worked through 5 positions of the major scale, you've been through so many different combinations of string changes that your fingers just magically have it figured out, and they'll just sense when it's time to do a hammer-on or a pull-off. And there you have it. And I'd just like to say in conclusion that alternate picking is great, but it does have a speed limit. Economy picking is great, but not everybody can do it. And you can do even numbers of notes per string as well, but that is kind of by definition a limited system. Or maybe you could spend years of your life perfecting this 2-way pick slanting thing. Or you could just say screw it and throw in a strategic legato wherever is needed and get on with your life. At least that's what I intend to do. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope it might be useful to you. And take care, and I hope you enjoy strategic legato alternate picking. Slap!